Hi, folks. So there are a few questions based on trying to find the gradient and things like that from last week's Rivers Lab. So let me clarify a few of those things that I forgot to tell y'all, and then you can take your time in turning it back into Canvas when you're done. So basically they had to read both the questions, or many of the questions that I keep getting has to do with calculating the gradient of the river. And in my tooth pain, I forgot to tell you how to do that. So here is a virtual Tuolumne River thing that I had you guys do. And the first question on here asks you to calculate the gradient between Glen and the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne. So if you take a look at this, if I zoom in, here's Glen, here's the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne. And the way you calculate the gradient is, let me see if I can get some text here, boop, is basically it's slope. It's rise over run. All right, so in this case, gradient is just going to be, and excuse the typing things that you hear, but in this case, the gradient is going to be basically the elevation change, or in this case, the elevation drop, right? So the difference in elevation change divided by however many miles it takes for that stream to get from one place to the other, okay? So in order to find the elevation drop, we've got to know the elevation of those 2 points to help us figure out, oops, I guess that just stays there. I guess what we need to do is just try to find those other 2 points here. Okay, so here's Glen Ellyn. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, and then I want you to take a look in the very bottom right-hand corner of your Google Earth. It gives you an elevation. So when you hover over a place, it'll tell you what's the elevation of the place that you're hovering over above sea level. All right. And for me, I have it in meters right now. If yours is in meters, I think you can go into settings. And once you get into settings, you can go to units of measure and change that into feet and miles. All right. And I'm going to save that. So now it should say feet down here. It tells you what it is. All right, so I'm going to just kind of zoom into Glen Ellyn really fast, and I see, oh, that's 8,261 feet. So that'd be my point 1. And then I'm going to go down to the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne, which is down here. All right, and now this is down at, let's see here, 5,575 feet. So you would just do the math, subtract the first one, or subtract this from the first one. So 8,000 whatever minus 5,500 and whatever this is. That'll give you your change in elevation. All right. Then to find the miles, we'll just do well, you can do a straight line if you want, or you can do the actual curved line. But basically the way this goes is you get your ruler right here like this. On the left-hand side, you click on the ruler button, and then you start. If you want it to be a straight line, you just click where you want it to start, click where you want it to end, double click, I should say, and that will make the straight line. And that's a lot of feet, right? So if you want, you can just go into miles like so. So in order to find the elevation drop, you'd put however many thousand feet divided by miles, and that'll give you a number. And so the unit that you end up with here, the unit that you end up with should be feet per mile. All right, that's the ending unit that you should end up with. And it tells you basically if you were to go 1 mile on average, how far is that river dropping? What's the slope of that river? Okay, if you want to go and get even a little bit more precise, oops, if I get out of my text boxes here. If you want to be a little bit more precise, you can click on your ruler, and then if you just single click the whole way up, you can kind of trace this. And remember, we're using not the world's most sophisticated measuring tool right here. There's lots of better ones in like Google Earth Pro and other GIS systems, but it'll do for what we need. So if we do that, because of the twists and turns and things, you can see it makes like 6.7 miles. So you would do that 3,000 feet change divided by the 6.77 miles, and that'll give you your total gradient there. Okay, so just another thing to think about here is those gradients. Remember, the steeper the gradient, The faster usually the water is going to go, usually the bigger types of material they're going to carry when it's like in a flood stage and things like that. So when the water's just running nice and small, you're not going to get much. But when it's flooding, like spring runoffs and stuff, or bad storms, those steeper areas are going to get a lot more uh, competence in the rivers. They have a much more greater ability to carry stuff. So that's how you do those measurements. I hope that helps. Send me a link on Canvas, or not a link, but a message on Canvas in the inbox if you need any other help. Sorry I didn't do it the first time. See you later.